it. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to leave a mark on the world? Is it about the wealth we accumulate, the fame we achieve, or the personal milestones we conquer? Today, I want to share a simple yet profound story that might just change your perspective on what a meaningful life looks like. It's a story about an old man, a river, and a legacy that outlived him. Imagine a small village nestled beside a wide, deep, and often treacherous river. For generations, the people there had to face this daily challenge. Crossing it was a struggle. Some would slip on the slick rocks, others would be turned back by the strong currents, and many simply gave up, their journeys cut short. It was a constant reminder of the obstacles that life throws our way. Living near this river was an old man named Ravi. He was quiet, with kind eyes that had seen many seasons come and go. Years ago, in his youth, he had made the perilous crossing himself. He knew its dangers, he had felt its cold grip, and he had overcome it. He could have easily moved on, settled into a peaceful retirement, and left the river behind as a distant memory. He had earned his rest, hadn't he? But Ravi did something unexpected. Instead of walking away, he stayed. Every morning he would go down to the riverbank and watch. He saw the fear in the eyes of the young, the frustration on the faces of the workers, and the weariness of the families trying to connect with loved ones on the other side. His heart ached for them. He had crossed his river, but he couldn't ignore the struggles of those who still had to face theirs. And so a decision took root in his heart. He wouldn't just watch anymore. He would do something. He decided to build a bridge. At first, people thought he was foolish. An old man, all alone, taking on such a monumental task. "Ravi, you're wasting your time," they'd call out. "You've already crossed the river. You'll never need to use that bridge. Why bother?" They saw his effort as pointless, a strange hobby for an old man with too much time on his hands. They laughed, they mocked, they shook their heads in disbelief. But Ravi was undeterred. He just smiled, a gentle, knowing smile, and would reply, "You're right. I am not building this bridge for myself. I am building it for those who will come after me, for the child who has yet to be born, for the traveler who doesn't know the dangers yet, for all the futures that depend on a safe passage." His days fell into a rhythm. With his bare hands, he started gathering materials. He heaved heavy stones from the riverbed, one by one, his old muscles straining. He searched the nearby woods for sturdy logs, dragging them back to the site. He painstakingly wove thick ropes, his fingers calloused and sore. It was slow, grueling work. The sun beat down on him in the summer, and the cold winds bit at him in the winter. There were days when his body ached, when progress seemed impossibly slow, when the sheer scale of the project felt overwhelming. He was just one man against a powerful river. The doubt from the villagers probably echoed in his mind during his loneliest moments. Why am I doing this? He might have wondered it, but then he would look across the river, envision a future where people could cross without fear, and he would find his strength again. His purpose was bigger than his own comfort. He wasn't just laying stones and wood. He was laying a foundation of hope. He was building a testament to the idea that one person's effort could make a world of difference for countless others. His workshop was the riverbank, his tools were his own two hands, and his fuel was pure, selfless compassion. Years passed. The bridge slowly began to take shape. It wasn't a grand modern marvel of engineering. It was a simple, rustic bridge, built with sweat, patience, and an immense amount of love. It was strong, it was steady, and it was a symbol of one man's quiet dedication. Finally, the day came when the last plank was laid, the last rope secured. The bridge was complete. It stood proudly, spanning the once impassable gap. Ravi, now even older and more frail, looked at his creation. He never crossed it again. His journey was over. Not long after, he passed away peacefully, his life's work done. But his story didn't end there. In fact, it was just beginning. After Ravi was gone, the bridge remained, and people began to use it. At first, it was just a few curious travelers. Then, word spread. The bridge was safe. It was reliable. The treacherous river was no longer an obstacle. Soon, the bridge was bustling with life. Children laughed as they ran across it on their way to school, their small feet safe from the rushing water below. Workers commuted back and forth, their livelihoods no longer at the mercy of the river's mood. Families, once separated by the dangerous crossing, were reunited. Trade flourished between the two sides. The entire community was transformed. A new generation grew up, knowing only the convenience and safety of the bridge. They might not have known Ravi's name or the story of his solitary struggle. They took the bridge for granted, as we often do with the blessings in our lives. But every step they took, every safe crossing, was a silent tribute to his legacy. They were all walking on the foundation of his kindness. Ravi's actions teach us a powerful lesson. True greatness, real impact, isn't measured by what we achieve for ourselves. It's not about crossing our own personal rivers and then forgetting about those who are still struggling on the bank. It's about turning back, reaching out a hand, and building a bridge for them. It's about the parent who works hard to give their children opportunities they never had. It's about the mentor who invests time in a young professional, guiding them through challenges they once faced. It's about the volunteer who dedicates their weekends to a cause that helps strangers. It's about anyone who plants a tree whose shade they know they will never sit in. This story asks us a fundamental question. What bridges are we building? In our jobs, in our families, in our communities, are we focused only on our own crossing, or are we looking back to see who we can help? The most beautiful legacies are not carved in stone monuments with our names on them. They are built into the lives of others through acts of kindness, sacrifice, and foresight. You don't have to build a literal bridge. Your bridge might be sharing your knowledge, offering a word of encouragement. creating something that makes life easier for others, or simply being a source of support for someone on their journey. Ravi's legacy wasn't the wood and stone. It was the safe passages, the connected families, the thriving community. It was the love he poured into the world, which continued to flow long after he was gone. So, let's all try to be a bit more like Ravi. Let's look for the rivers in our world and find a way to build a bridge, no matter how small. Because the true measure of a life well lived is not what we gain for ourselves, but what we leave behind for others. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content that I hope inspires and uplifts you. ID. Love to read your thoughts in the comments below. What kind of bridges are you inspired to build? Until next time, take care and build something beautiful.